Hello, friends!
Welcome to episode 2 of our podcast. We are so excited that you're joining us on our journey to explore and discover new things. You might remember that in the last episode, we traveled all the way to Antarctica to learn about the beautiful penguins. Penguins are Isabella's favorite animal, and she always wanted to learn more about them. Well, this week, we will explore Daniel's favorite topic. Daniel, would you like to tell us what we will be learning about today?
Of course. In this episode, we will be learning about Norse mythology.
Daniel, why do you like Norse mythology?
Well, actually, I love exploring mythology from all around the world. I've already learned quite a bit about mythology from other countries, like Greek and Roman mythology. Now I'm really curious about Norse mythology because it comes from Scandinavian, where Daddy is from.
That's right. Daddy was born in Copenhagen, which is the capital of Denmark. He actually lived there for most of his life before moving to Canada. He taught us quite a bit about Norse mythology already, but we became even more curious about it since we've watched some of the Marvel movies.
Daniel, I was learning about mythology with you, but I don't know what mythology means.
Mythology is a group of myths and stories usually about gods, demigods, heroes, and just regular people like us.
I love learning all about these different myths and stories with you. I often feel like they try to teach us lessons.
That's what they were meant for. Myths were often told to teach people lessons, like how to behave or what decisions to make.
Very interesting. So, what is our plan for today?
Well, you might not know this, but Professor Smarty Pants has been working on a top-secret invention at his lab. Why don't we pay him a visit to see if his invention can help us learn more about this week's topic?
Great plan. I loved learning from Professor Smarty Pants last time.
Great! To the car!
We're here. Too bad it's such a rainy day today.
Yes, it's raining cats and dogs. Isabella, be careful.
Why?
You might step in a poodle.
Ha ha, very funny.
Look, there he is. Hi, Professor Smarty Pants.
Oh, hello friends. So nice to see you. What brings you to my laboratory today?
Hello, Professor. Daniel told us that you have been working on a top secret invention that might help us learn more about the topic we're exploring today.
We are all super curious about Norse mythology and all the stories of the Norse gods. Do you think your invention could help us learn about this topic?
That's such a great topic to explore. I think that my new invention could help you guys on this journey. It will also be a great way to test out the machine. Come with me. Welcome to the laboratory.
Professor Smarty Pants, what is this giant machine?
This is what we all came here for. This machine is called the portal window machine.
What does it do?
This machine acts like a giant television, but what you see on the screen really took place at one time. Once we turn it on, we will be able to see exactly what happened in the realm that we want. In our case, we'll be looking at Asgard, which is the place where the Norse gods and goddesses lived.
That's so cool.
Professor Smarty Pants, before we turn on the portal window machine, could you please explain to us who the different gods and goddesses are in Norse mythology?
No, wait. Let me do it. It all starts with Odin, who is the king of the Aesirs. The Aesirs are the gods of war in Norse mythology. Odin is also the god of war, death, sky, and wisdom. My friends remember him as Thor's father, the god who was missing an eye from the Marvel movies. In mythology, it is actually explained that Odin lost his eye when he sacrificed it in order to drink from the fountain of wisdom.
Good for you for knowing this. This is right. I'll tell you a little bit more. For example, did you know that Odin is married to Frigg, who is the goddess of marriage and motherhood? Her power is to tell what will happen in the future, but she never shares this information with others. One of their sons is the famous Thor, whose weapon is the hammer he calls Mjolnir. Thor is god of thunder, and he uses his hammer to create thunderbolts and lightning.
Very, very frightening.
Hey, I see what you did there. You sang the song about thunder and lightning. Back to my story. Something special about Mjolnir is that if Thor throws it away, it always hits its target and always returns back to him.
That's really interesting. I have actually wondered about whether the Marvel movies were accurate or if they were different from the stories in Norse mythology.
One thing that is very different in mythology than in the movies is the story of Loki. In the movies, it is said that Loki is Thor's adopted brother, but that is actually inaccurate. In mythology, Loki is the stepbrother of Odin, Thor's father. This means that he is Thor's step-uncle.
Wow, I did not know that. That is so different. But the big question is Loki really the god of trickery, just like it shows in the movies?
Oh, that he is. In Norse mythology, Loki is known as the god of mischief and lies. He often causes trouble for the other gods, but he also finds solutions to the problems he creates.
Professor Smarty Pants, is it true that Loki's superpower is that he can shapeshift?
Wait a minute, what does shape-shifting mean?
Shape-shifting means that Loki can change his appearance. That means that he can change how he looks to become someone else in order for others not to recognize him.
This is all correct, but Loki doesn't just shapeshift. He can also change his look to be young or old, a woman or a man, or even an animal. It is hard to understand this, so why don't we check this out on my machine? Let's turn it on and check out what happened in this myth.
Wow, this is such a beautiful place. What is it?
This looks like Asgard and the Bifrost Bridge.
You are correct. My machine is showing beautiful Asgard. While Asgard is a beautiful and majestic place where the gods and goddesses live, it is at risk of being attacked by the giants and trolls of Jotunheim. This group often gets in conflicts with the gods and goddesses.
The giants and trolls are very powerful and can cross the Bifrost Bridge that connects their land to Asgard whenever they want.
Let's take a look at the machine to see one of the battles between the giants and Thor. As you can see, Thor is defending Asgard from the giants by using his hammer, Mjolnir.
And who is this crossing the bridge?
This is the man in the middle of the mythology we are about to learn about. This stranger on a horse came to the gods during one of Thor's battles. He came to offer the gods and goddesses to build the strongest and tallest wall around their kingdom, which would protect them from the giants and trolls.
That sounds like a great idea.
Almost. In exchange for his work, he asked for 3 things: the sun, the moon, and to marry the goddess Freya.
Oh, I've heard of her. She's the goddess of love, war, beauty, death, and wealth. But most importantly, she is the goddess of fertility.
That's her. Well, Freya did not want to marry this stranger, and the other gods agreed with her, rejecting his offer.
Wait a minute. This sounds familiar. I read about this somewhere. I think that Loki had something to do with it. Just take a look at how sneaky he looks in the corner there. It looks like he's plotting something.
That's right. If I remember correctly, Loki wanted to make a deal with this stranger.
I remember that Loki tells the other gods that they should agree to the stranger's offer, but make the conditions of this deal so difficult that it would be impossible for him to finish the wall on time. This way, the stranger would fail, resulting in 2 things. First of all, he would not get to marry the beautiful goddess Freya, but he will also nearly finish building the wall, which will work out really well for the gods.
Yes, that sneaky plan is hard to resist. Freya obviously still did not like this plan, but unfortunately for her, after a lot of talk, the other gods and goddesses agreed to Loki's plan.
How did they make it hard for the stranger to finish his work on time?
I think that the gods gave the stranger a couple of conditions. The first one was that he would only have 1 winter to finish building the wall. If he did not finish before the first day of summer, the deal would be cancelled. Another condition was that he was not allowed to have help from any other person. He had to do it on his own.
Well, Loki thought that he was super smart and sneaky. What he did not know was that the builder was really good at what he did. Look at how quickly he was digging the trenches and bringing the stones from the hills. Loki also did not realize that the stranger's horse was very strong and fast, and he would help him with this project.
With winter flying by, the stranger now only had 3 days before his deadline. The gods started to get really worried that the stranger would finish building the wall on time. They all turned against Loki for getting them into this mess by promising that the stranger will never be able to complete his construction on time. To correct his mistakes, Loki came up with a new and sneaky plan. When nobody was looking, he went out to the wall and secretly shapeshifted into a beautiful mare.
Excuse me, but what is a mare?
A mare is a female horse.
I get it. He was trying to lead away the stranger's horse by pretending to be a beautiful mare.
You got it, and that's exactly what happened. The stranger's horse saw this beautiful mare who was running towards the woods, and he ran away after her. This made the stranger very angry. After losing his horse, he went to confront the gods. But when they saw him, he was no longer the stranger they met before. He shapeshifted to the giant that he always was. At this exact moment, Thor returned from his battle, and seeing the giant immediately threw his hammer Mjolnir, which killed the giant. After the giant was killed, the gods finished building the last bit of the wall, which the giant left untouched, and had a big celebration in honor of it.
Wait a minute, what happened to Loki? Did he turn into a mare forever?
You can always trust Loki to be up to sneaky business.
This time was no different. He shapeshifted back to himself. When he returned to Asgard, he came back with a new and beautiful horse with 8 legs. This was a child that he shared with the giant's horse. He presented this horse to his stepbrother Odin as an apology and as a thank you for the gift Odin forgave him.
Whoa, that's very complicated, but it's also very interesting.
That Loki sounds like he's always looking for trouble.
Hey, I have a new joke for you guys. What's the Norse god's favorite video game?
What is it?
Fortnite.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Professor Smarty Pants, for this amazing field trip. We had such a great time learning about Norse mythology. I can't decide whether I love Loki or really dislike him now.
That's a hard choice, but I'm happy we got to use my machine to learn more about this story. Until next time.
Bye!
So kids, what did you think?
I loved Professor Smartypants' machine.
It was so much fun learning about Norse gods.
I'm so happy that we visited Professor Smarty Pants in his lab. Now I need a little bit of a break from this mythology. That was a tough story. But we should decide what we're going to learn about next time.
How about we explore our favorite extinct animal, the Tasmanian tiger?
Oh yes, can we?
Of course we can. Friends, join us again next week as we learn about our favorite extinct animal, the Tasmanian tiger. We hope you liked today's episode. Please share our podcast with all your friends who you think would like to join us on our explorations. We will be happy to hear your feedback and suggestions for future episodes. But in the meantime, if you liked our episode today, we will be so excited if you could give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or any other platform that you listen to us on. It will mean so much to us. And this